This one. So we talk about the Zen and some of their leaders there, the name. Can you read them? Yeah.
Mazu was another master opposed to the notion that one gradually progresses towards enlightenment through meditation. Mazu asserted that only because one has already Buddha nature, that full awakening is possible. He came to criticize any kind of artificial striving for enlightenment in stages, teaching that the practice becomes meaningful only with complete breakthrough to understanding. Following Huineng, Mazu stressed the sudden, unexpected nature of the enlightenment experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is that called? Satori? Is that what that's called? Sudden enlightenment. I think that is called, I don't study Zen, but yeah, that's the Zen school is pretty well noted for kind of picking that whole that kind of logical hole in Buddhism, saying, oh well, if you're trying to enlighten, that's still kind of clinging and attachment. I'm not sure that that's true, but that is a viewpoint.
So how can they approach to, or how can they explain what's mean by sudden enlightenment?
Sudden enlightenment? Well, it's that all that maybe that yeah, suddenly you're free from obstruction. I mean, I don't really study Zen, but it seems like, yeah, you would all of a sudden, because you have Buddha nature, the thing that keeps you from Buddha nature are these things that you have, or the thing you think is you, has added to the experience, that it's possible to have that larger experience of non-duality, the understanding that this is not a me, that all of those things that has clouded you and kept you stuck here is just, you're able to you can let go of that anytime. You're under no obligation to be the same person you were 10 minutes ago. So of course it's always possible in any second. Easy.
So sudden enlightenment, thank you. This is good explanation. Sudden enlightenment is mean that you need to recognize your own pure nature is always with you, no more, no less.
Yeah.
Whether you up or go down, wherever you go, this lifetime and next lifetime, you still have that type of pure nature. That's mean your intuition must go with you. Yeah, but most of the time we play around with our emotion. We don't focus much on our intuition. That's what the Zen enlightenment about. It's only there. Yeah, but for
there are
others,
many ways to enlighten.
but all the people say, well, you need to sit down to purify your mind, to calm your mind. But for them, the Huineng, the Sid Patriarch, and Mazu, they advocate that tradition. Yeah. Yeah, and Stephen, can you read, please, the next one?
Yes, Mobote. Linji and Daihu, descendants of Mazu in lineage and ideology, stressed this realization. They championed a confrontational directness in teaching and criticized a form of meditation called quiet sitting, which was aimed at cultivating mental stillness. Linji taught the value of sudden realization built upon faith in one's own Buddha nature.
Yeah, stop there. You can stop there. Yeah.
I guess here they're saying the late Linji here and Daihu took off of Mazu teaching here and his ideas and stressed of the realization. And I think they continue on with basically the directness of the teaching and Um, and they somehow, I think they say something about they didn't agree to the form of meditation called quiet sitting, which is, I was kind of confused with that. I didn't understand what that all meant.
You mean that quiet sitting? You know what I mean?
Is it just concentrating on stillness
Yeah, that
pretty
kind.
much?
Yeah, so it opposites, instead of here.
I think they just sit and stare at the wall.
Yeah, here, Linchi and Macho, they focus on, yeah, certain relation built upon the faith in or on one own Buddha nature. You recognize the pure nature, that's all. That's not enough. That's caution realization. But for others, no. My mind is clouded by all kind of thought. That's why I need to sit still. To need to sit quietly, so that mind will be calm down. That bit different. Okay, you like to read this Dahu here?
Let's see, yeah.
Can you hear that? Dahu.
Now, we urge the use of cones to aid in manifestation of inherent spirituality. Characterize the form of meditation taught by Hong Chi, a contemporary Zen master, as silent illumination, calling it a false form of practice that confuses the sickness with the remedy, denying the experience of enlightenment. In turn, Dahu's approach was labeled Cone Gazing Zen by Hong Chi, and both labels stuck with the silent illumination describing the Kantaza of present day Soto school, Cone Gazing Zen, the methods of Rinzai school.
You understand now? You understand?
Oh, so koans are like mental, they're questions that you go and meditate on, and they're like these mental puzzles that kind of break you mentally to kind of see the like deeper inherent meaning, but of course, like the first number of levels you go through, you're still kind of stuck in your mind. So and then, so yeah, it just kind of, went back and said which master was teaching what. So like the two big schools today of Zen Buddhism is the Soto school, which I don't know if I have it lined up, but I think believes or practices the koans, and then the Rinzai, which focuses on silent illumination.
No, the opposite.
Okay, well, I didn't think I was lining them up, but yeah,
Rinzai focus on sun enlightenment.
sudden enlightenment, okay,
Yeah, for the Soto, the focus on the quiet sitting.
okay.
Yeah.
I have a question if you don't mind.
Please.
So when he says that it confuses the practice, it's like a false form, quote, it confuses sickness with the remedy, denying the experience of enlightenment. How does it deny the experience of enlightenment? Can you walk me through that? Like how
Wait,
to practice?
which one is that?
He's talking about, it's like he characterized a form of meditation taught by Hongzhi, a contemporary Zen master, silent illumination, and then right after it states that it confuses sickness with the remedy, denying the experience of enlightenment. He calls it a false form, false practice. But why is it a false practice?
Let's see.
I think that's Zen master still being stuck in ego and saying my way is better than your way.
So everyone is different. You see, That's all.
I think.
That's their view. Make sense?
Yeah, I was just confused because you wouldn't think that would really happen.
No.
I thought they'd be more accepting, I guess.
You know, everyone's
We're all human.
all human.
We're all stuck here, right?
Yeah, so yeah, my way is the right way, your way is wrong way. That's all. But of course, it's up to everyone of us to pick whichever way, right? Even in the past too. Yeah. Okay, Ben, you want to read next one, please, Ben?
And where were we at here?
However,
Okay, however, to a large extent, the primary difference between the Rinzai and Soto schools is one of emphasis or approach rather than of substance. Both trace their lineage to Huineng, and both stress that meditation has value not as a method for the attainment of wisdom, but as the embodiment of wisdom itself. Meditation is seen as a dynamic, active state of heightened awareness. Buddha consciousness is found in the things of everyday life, with meditation being the best way to reorient the mind so that it is able to appreciate its encounters with this other dimension of reality.
understand?
Yeah, instead of attaining the wisdom, it says that you embody the wisdom itself. So the meditation is instead of trying to get enlightenment, it's more of you're experiencing enlightenment by calming your mind. That's what I get.
You got that?
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with what Ben says, just that, I know that with those like sitting practices of the Zen school, your understanding of Dharma comes just through sitting. It doesn't come through studying or chanting these long sutras, or it comes from understanding the Dharma fully just with sitting practice.
Yeah, again, it's just personal choice.
Right.
Like the idea of Buddha consciousness in all things, it's just kind of waiting there for you with that right mind to sort of see them. It's like,
And there's many ways to uncover that. There's many ways to get there. It's just it's gotta be step by step.
Like the way we go to New York, we can fly, we can drive, even can walk. So we can sell, what and so forth. There's many ways. Many ways to go, not one way. Of course, someone say, okay, it's better for me to ride bicycles there. Or other, it's better to ride motorcycle. It's better to fly there. It's better to ride a car. So everyone has similar methods to go. So there's Zen meditation. Yeah. There's no wrong, no right. Everything is up to us. Yeah. Okay, Rubaya, let's see here. Is that's one? Let me go back. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, let me show you this. Huay Nang, his flesh body is still exist nowadays. Yeah, let me share with you the screen. They don't, right here, this one is his body here. It's still in Guangdong, in China, southern China. Yeah. And they don't put any chemical, nothing else to reserve the body. He just had this body for 1,000 years. Since the 7th century up to now. We mentioned that This is so amazing.
I've probably brought this up before, some of those, Tibetan masters supposedly that go into this like rainbow body state, that like right after they die, they like, there's like nothing left of them. And they've actually gone in, like the Catholic Church has gone in and measured some of this stuff. Like some of it's actually like not just myth, but it's fairly well documented that
They saw that.
yeah, like after they die and they're it's a whole process, but yeah, they shrink down into like like there's almost nothing left of them. And then supposedly like the big enlightened masters, all that's left is like the teeth and the hair. Of course, that's more, I probably
So
think
they
it's
have
legend.
Have YouTube.
But yeah, you can search that on YouTube, but yeah, it's called look at the
The
masters,
rainbow body?
the rainbow bodies.
Oh, I heard about that. I watched about that. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, but you know why? Why they could have like a ability?
I mean, yeah, those are pretty like advanced beings that I think that really understand that the nature of reality isn't like somehow they've taken their energy out of. There's a book in the library that's the monk calls this the leaking skin bag. Like, that the body, that they have enough control over this like sense of emptiness, or I mean, this is like some really lofty thinking and I don't entirely understand
Yeah,
it
it's
myself.
really
But
hard.
they,
Next time when you see that video, I can find it.
okay,
Can share.
yeah, okay, yeah, I can,
You can share later on, not now, not now. That's okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So again, so Stephen, you know why they could keep that body for thousands of years without any kind of chemical or ways to preserve the body? What they call mummify, right?
mummify, yeah.
Mummify, right? You know why?
Not really, Father.
No. What do you think? Why not?
For the life thing,
Is it possible or just
it's possible.
what?
I think once you reach a certain state of consciousness, your own Buddha nature, you realize that your mind is stuck in time, but who you are is beyond time, which is how the other lifetimes happen. Once that happens, everything slows down. You can slow anything down and you see things precisely the way that they are versus the way you think they are. Like for, let's say, a master that's stuck in meditation, he could still be consciously aware of that body which has been preserved. You know, and that's time doesn't necessarily exist in that manner when if that be that would true the 24 hours of fly would be but then so when you step out of this thing and this thing,
Well, you think this is you think this is your thing, but this is actually just another microorganism or a combination of what's that called? Macro?
Yeah.
But we're just, yeah, we're more of like a constellation of organisms.
a bunch of food I've ate over 37
It's food, it's mites, it's bacteria, it's stuff that's got other levels of consciousness and responses to things. And just because you have an awareness of it does not mean it's you. Right. We get super confused going, oh, well, I have this really strong awareness of this bunch of organisms and I've identified that it's me, but it's like you start picking it apart, you just have awareness of it.
You said he left his body at 700?
Yeah. So basically he passed away in the 7th century and his body is still there.
So he left his body in the 7th century, but
And up to
maybe
now,
part of his energy
it's still there. Yeah.
It could be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's possible, but I've also seen what happens to bodies. Cause some of the practices they have in Indonesia. With what they do with their dead people and they like leave them out. They keep them in the house sometimes
For
for a
that
couple of
different.
years.
For them, they didn't do.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying, but in my head, I know what a body
Mhm.
that's not been treated.
Positioning.
But if you got out of your head, well,
Right, I'm so exactly, but in my head, I'm just like, I'm going. Of what I've witnessed versus wrapping my head around, like,
Mhm.
is that really preserved? Yeah.
So
How
Ben,
do you
what do you
preserve
think?
that?
Imagine one day while you are sitting in meditation and your body disappear. How it's go for you?
That'd be pretty cool. So
You don't need to do anything, right? When you really enter samadhi, your body will disappear too.
mhm,
So how
that'd
about
be
Vaya? Is incredible. What do you think?
I mean, how would you know that you even died? You're like already meditating, you're already like kind of just elsewhere almost, and you're like, oh, like I just passed away. Like, how would you even know? Like, that's, I don't know. I think it's crazy that they still have the body there. It's
Yeah.
still there. So,
Steven, what do you think? That is one of the most peaceful things, right? That we concern, right? But for them, they pass away in the peaceful way, in the calm way, right? You know how could they handle that? How could they handle the death? And Stephen, what do you think?
That it has to do with just their reaching enlightenment, and basically your mind, you're already prepared for it. Because for a normal human being, just like we're discussing here with all the life and suffering, it's kind of hard to grasp. So that's why we're always under all the hardship and everything. So now, as to just like anything else, just like when the body is passing, the natural world, basically there's decomposition because there's microorganisms all around us. But if for the body to be preserved like that naturally without any kind of medication, any process that we do nowadays, I think it goes just beyond the normal natural world, so to say, of what scientists are studying nowadays. But I feel it just go beyond that, because the master has already been, when you reach to a level of enlightenment, you're just there. It's kind of hard to explain, Mofate.
So what do you think? That is the most beautiful things in our life, right? So but how could we handle them when they come?
For other people to view,
For ourselves too.
I'd say, yeah, well, I'd say if I were to, visit that area, I would just sort of think of what better way to go than in meditation. How spiritual of a process that must have been. And I can only imagine. I think I kind of still view or skew to the scientific mind of environment, cold, high altitude environment, certainly allowing for that to happen. But for a person to be in the stages of dying and maintain their meditation process is kind of mind-boggling.
But for
What-
them,
It's been practice, I mean, like, and I feel like
Yeah.
once you start really. Or for me, once I really started getting into Buddhism, you have to spend a lot of time thinking about death,
Mhm.
practicing for
That's
death.
true, that's true.
Because, of course, that's just an illusion. That's also just a projection or just a little blip on some,
Mhm.
so you don't really, yeah, once you really even dip your toes too far into Buddhism, you have spent some pretty long hours practicing, contemplating,
Mhm. Accepting it as a life.
understanding the, yeah, coming to terms with it all.
Yeah, Rubaya, remember, what do you think when you say your story that somehow you crash your car and it's impermanent and when when it's time for you to go, is it easy to let go or not easy?
It's easy to let go because I'm just like there's so much more coming. Like there's so much more to see. So letting go of like any sort of material attachments now is just so easy. Because I always knew it was not permanent. Even if I didn't crash my car, I couldn't take it to college anyway. So I wasn't gonna have it. But not having it, I've gotten so much more, and I know I will continue to get more. So I am pretty grateful for it.
So basically, every Buddhist recognize what they call it, uh, the four or the three important characteristics of life: impermanent, non-self, uh, and suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to recognize that things come and go and be ready. Whenever time for us to go, we can go. If we don't recognize us and if we don't accept that, we will take toll on us. It's not easy
It
to
creates
handle.
more suffering.
It creates more
It
suffering.
creates more suffering. The more you try to deny that, the more you don't accept, you know, when you see people in the throes of like
Mm.
really intense grief,
Mhm.
what is
Yeah.
that? That is,
Yeah.
you hadn't, and of course, everyone experiences
Mhm.
this. People that really get whipped around for a
Mhm.
hard ride are the people that really don't see the nature that everything
Mhm. Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's fair or not,
Yeah.
that it's guaranteed to come and go, and it's a matter of witnessing the timing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rubaya.
I have a question since we're on the topic of impermanence. How does it go hand in hand? How does it connect to the topic of no self? Because I know we talked about no self like months ago, but like I'll learn it within like our lesson, and then afterwards I'm like I make it very complicated, but I know they're like interconnected somehow. I just don't know how to bridge the two together. Do you mind explaining?
Yeah, sure. Since today I need to end early because I need to give another lecture next time. I mean, next 10 minutes. So probably next time we can let's
Okay, okay.
about the five scalar, the five aggregates. That is in traditional way of explanation. But in Mahayana tradition, in Zen tradition, the reason why they emphasize something to enlightenment because they recognize the pure self as different from the impure self
Yeah,
or the illusional self.
yeah.
You understand now? Right? And discuss about that, okay?
Okay.
So we'll go back to the reason why I asked you guys that how could they keep that body there and how could they leave the body easily? Because the important thing is to recognize the important principle, that's all. It's much easier for them to let go. Before it's not easy. That and also because they're pure mind. That's why the body is pure too. That's why they don't need any kind of chemical to preserve their body, even for thousands of years. That's it. Okay, so let us stop here today and next week. So please, Rubaya, ask this question. It's pretty important.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll see you next week.
The next Saturday. Sorry, Friday then. Thank you.